Welcome back, everyone. Now that we've got our nose cleaned out after that break, we're good to go.
I'm ready for some role-playing. Let's do it. Let's fucking do
It's
this.
going to be the best, Adam.
Oh, man. I love role-playing games. You know what else I love? Cooking shows. I love cooking shows on Netflix.
Cooking shows
I
are
love
pretty
TV,
good.
Movies. I like comic books. I'm really into comic books. Dungeons and Dragons. Let's play a game. This is my favorite version of Dungeons. All right.
That's a good gag.
All right. So you attempt to rest. You take some time in jail to think about what you've done. No one really comes to like check on you or anything. I mean, 8 hours is not a long time to be like sitting around in prison. But there's no other prisoners. You're not in like a cell block right now necessarily. And so you're forced to enjoy each other's company. I was curious, Berg and Sully Hoffa, is there ever a conversation? Y'all like talk about what happened, or is this just like you avoid each other like as best you can? What's the deal?
From Solly's point of view, it's complete avoidance rather. It's
Yeah.
if Berg, I don't know, Berg, do you start a conversation? Solly doesn't.
Nope.
Okay.
I do not.
All right,
Bird's
so-
just in. I'm self.
Ramos, you, because you're so wise, you definitely notice, but I think also because you are Kalima, because you're a student of human nature, you notice the rift between those two. There was some stuff, and now they're like kind of avoiding contact.
Oh,
something that you
absolutely.
observe.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because once I saw, because I was unaware that he took the bracer and the rod,
Yes, yeah.
and once that popped out, if I would have known, I would have told him to fucking get rid of that immediately, or at least try to. But yeah, I definitely noticed, but it's something that we can talk about at a later time, in my opinion, in Calumet's opinion, that
Okay.
right now they need rest.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, time passes, and I think eventually you hear the sounds of armor jingling, and a group of Harissa arrive. And there's a man, tall, kind of gaunt. He wears his armor like a uniform more than like a battle dress. Like, he doesn't look like someone who is like working out and practicing with a sword every day, but he wears the arms and armor. He may be like a functionary or bureaucrat. He has kind of a drawn face, a long nose, like paler skin than most folks that live in the city. And he approaches the bars. He's got a couple of other guards with him, and then there's another figure you can't quite make out who's standing like behind them in the shadows. And this guard captain approaches and he looks at you. Anybody say anything? He's just kind of like taking the measure of you.
I follow him with my eyes, but I don't say anything. Actually, I stand up when he enters into the prison room or whatever we're in. The cell area.
Okay.
Or he's not even looking at him. He's just still looking at the ground.
I would like to make an insight check to see if I can tell what kind of mood he's in. If it's like angry or
Right. Yeah, you want to get a read on him? Okay.
Yeah, like-
yeah. Go for it. Yeah.
24.
Okay. Yeah. What do you want to know?
Like, does he look like he's angry, or he's confused, or he's just like confident and he knows he's got us, or like, you know, that kind of like the aura he's putting off.
Yeah. So you can both read what he's trying to seem like and what he actually is like. He's being very cautious. You are adventurer types after all, and dangerous. So he's being cautious, but not because he's scared. He's just very guarded. And then also, yeah, it looks like he's just trying to get to the bottom of this. Like he's not here like, hey, I'm gonna bust you. He's just very like getting a real close look at all of you with his own eyes. You can tell he's heard stories and been told in the last little while about what's going on, but he's like looking at you, trying to kind of figure you out, and it looks like you've seen the same look on the face of someone who is at market trying to decide which persimmon to purchase, or at a brothel trying to decide which of the prostitutes is the finest to pick first. So he's like kind of looking back and forth between you, trying to make that decision of like, who am I going to put the screws to first?
Great.
So taking the measure of you, which also means like letting you, if anybody's gonna freak out or yell or jump up or whatever, or do anything, then he'll be like, like he'll notice.
I'm going
So,
to
taking the measure of you.
I'm going to do my best to try and read that, and
You can make an insight check too.
okay.
He's making an insight roll on you. Exactly. You're all kind of like, sizing each other up. Okay, so Kalimat, you're obviously half as perceptive about this as Ramos is. So you probably only notice the surface stuff. This guy seems cold and in charge, and he puts off an aura of like you should respect and fear him only because of the authority he has. He's not coming across as like cruel or anything, but he sees right into you. Maybe he looks you in the eyes and you're like you feel guilty, even though you know you have nothing to feel guilty about. You know that thing that people with authority do sometimes, where they look at you and you're just like, and you're like, wait a second, no, I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm allowed to do what I'm doing. Fuck off. But they still make you feel like squirrely. That's the vibe you get from this guy.
Yep. Every time I talk to a cop, I'm just like, wait a minute.
Fuck.
I didn't do anything wrong this time. I'm good.
It's
I'm
fine.
good to go.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
You're the dick.
If I'm a passenger in a car that like was speeding or something, it's like, wait a minute.
Literally every time I have ever crossed the border in either direction.
Yeah.
So yeah, he looks at the group of you and gives you the opportunity to speak.
I walk up to him timidly. My name is Kalimat, and what we saw today, I've never seen before, and that's true. I'm here to say that we will tell you the absolute truth. And I'm also here to say that what you hear might sound hard to believe. But you have my word that it is absolutely 100% the truth. I mean, you can look at the scars.
He interrupts you before you get a chance to speak again. He says, I am a captain of the Aharisa. I am used to hearing outlandish stories. Simply because most of them are lies gives me no reason to believe that what you have to say will be. I am a devotee of justice, and you are a prisoner. And as such, your fate is in my care. I will handle it with appropriate delicateness. And he turns and he looks at you, Berg. You there, Orc? Come here.
Berg stands up and walks closer to him, slowly.
The captain looks at the figure who's standing just out of light, standing in the shadows. Looks at this figure, and the figure in the shadow just nods, and you hear the like tinkling of like metal jewelry or something. And then the captain turns back to you and he says, "Come with us." And one of the other guards is taking out some keys and unlocking the door.
Who's this shadowy? Can I what's this fig? Can I discern who that is? Is it too dark?
You
I have
dark vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have dark vision, so you can see when you step forward. You get a little closer. So this person is wearing, they're wearing long, like spotless white robes, like just like perfect. So they kind of have a glow to them, even in the dark. Like long spotless robes, a scarf that goes not like wrapped around, but lays flat on the back of the neck, and then two pieces of this like black sort of shiny fabric hanging down in front of them, etched with or embroidered with gold thread. And and they have like symbols in the ancient court language, probably Celestial. You can't read it. So this like scarf. Also, they're wearing a gold mask. So they have a mask covering their face. It's a flat piece of like gold or brass. Something that's highly polished. It's flat, and there are just eye holes, so you can see two like hazel eyes below. No features otherwise. And then there are two sort of sweeping like pieces, like horns or something, that come off the sides out about to shoulder length, and hanging from them are gold discs on like thin chains. And when the person bowed, that's what sort of like tinkled together. The person seems to be human height, like average human height. And that's you can't tell anything else about them except the color of their eyes. You can't tell any other detail. But the captain looked to them with deference, like this one, and they nodded, and you heard like the tinkling, and then they looked at you and they were like, "Come on."
Can I do just a quick insight just to see the intention?
Yeah, please do.
Why do I even roll these? Why do I even roll them?
They are totally and completely just not. Yeah, you have no idea what they're thinking or feeling. How do you respond? Oh, actually, hold on a second. You have seen someone dressed like this before. You and Ramos both have. This person is, now you don't know the details of how they work. Ramos would be able to fill you in, but you have not seen a man or woman dressed in this fashion in nary a dozen years now. This person is a member of the clergy of justice. This is a priest of justice, and their job is to figure out if you are a guilty person or not. Justice and judgment work together in the courts. Justice is given the ability to decide whether you have done or not done the bad thing. And then a priest of judgment is the person who decides how your punishment goes. If you're innocent, you never see a priest of judgment. You have seen both, and you haven't been in front of a priest of justice in a very, very long time. You can't read them.
God. So this is more than likely not good at all for Berg.
No. The last time you saw someone dressed like this, they were saying like guilty, take them to be judged, and like you and some other people got dragged away, and after that put in chains.
Okay, so and he says that, he's just like
the priest doesn't say anything, but the captain
to the
says
captain.
something. Yeah, the captain is like, come forward, and they go to start unlocking the prison.
Where am I being taken?
We just want to have a conversation with you.
Where?
About what happened to the Lord Commander.
Why is that one here?
It is customary, important to hear your testimony. The priest will decide what is to be done with you based on what you have to say. And he looks at your wrist and then looks back at you and says, "But you know all this, don't you? You've seen a priest of justice before. Hmm?
You will not put another bracer on me. Know that.
Oh no, I think not. Either you'll go free, or the punishment for murder." He shakes his head sadly, like, "Don't worry, you're not going to get bracered again."
All right, Berg reluctantly goes with him because he doesn't see any other choice.
Yeah, so the guards, one of the guards points the spear at you, like, I mean, he doesn't know that you're level 8 or whatever, and he's just got 10 hit points, but he points the spear at you like, "I'm gonna spear your ass." And then they take you out. You get manacled again, but this time in front of you.
Yeah.
Sorry, Calumet, you had something to say?
But before he goes, would Bardic Inspiration work? Right, like if I said some encouraging words to him, would he be able to use a dice, like in interrogation or something?
Chin up, Berg.
I don't know. I mean, seldom is heard. So let me look. 10. He'd have 10 minutes. So yes, if you say something inspiring, he's got 10 minutes to use that roll.
All right. So I just come to the. I'm assuming there's bars or whatever.
Yep.
I just come to the bars and I say, Berg, don't worry. We're here for you. You've been through much worse than this. You'll be fine. Just tell them exactly what you saw. And we'll be waiting when you get back, okay? You're stronger than anyone I've ever met.
Berg nods to him and then gets moving. With a fresh face and outlook on life.
Yeah. With
I
a
mean,
little
you're
twinkle above his head.
You're still hella exhausted, but Kalimat's words will resonate in your mind. Mark inspiration, Zeke.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Okay, so if the three of you have anything to say here, you can say it as these guys are leaving. But otherwise, we'll cut to Berg in the Justicar's chambers. No. Okay. All right.
Nope.
So it is another sense of strange familiarity, Berg, as you are led somberly through the halls of the keep. Now you're not led anywhere that people can see you. They take you through a back hallway into a room where justice is served. There's a big marble table in the center of a plain room. The only decoration in the room is a pool of water, basically like a fountain pool, in the center of the room, and there is a long sword hanging on the wall up behind the table. And you've seen this exact kind of room. The last one you were in was not quite so ostentatious, right? It was made merely of granite or sandstone. This is like beautiful green and white marble. The fountain is made of chased silver. The sword is like beautiful. And in the room, you're led into. These guards follow, and the priest of justice just goes to stand near the back of the room to observe. They fold their arms over their chest and just sort of stand listening to what you have to say. The guards kind of position you in front of the one side of the desk, and the captain, it's like an altar to justice, basically. And the captain walks around the other side. He produces a gold bell, which he rings 3 times and then places on the table. And he produces a cone of incense, which he lights from one of the candles that's illuminating the room. He lights it and it begins to burn. And again, you know how like seeing a familiar thing is one thing, but smelling a familiar smell can really like hit you. Give me a quick flashback to like your sentencing. Like that was the last time you smelled this incense. It's sacred incense to justice.
Yeah. The last time he had that happen, and he just like goes right back. It's Berg, much younger, looking a lot more, a lot less scars, less weathered, mad as all hell and frustrated, and visibly shaking in the courtroom, like not because he's nervous, but just because he's pissed as shit that he's there. And as the Justicar rings the bell and they start reading out the sentence, and like we zip forward a little bit to finalizing what it is, Berg's just sitting there like head down like this. And they're like, have you heard what, like the Justicar's like, do you understand the sentence, Berg? Like, and he just looks up, stares him in the face, just fire in his eyes. And it looks like he's about to yell, and then he just suppresses it down. And then the shaking stops.
And we see them put a black cloak over your shoulders to signify that you've been found guilty. And in the background of the scene, we can see a much younger but no less weaselly looking Kukrit kind of just rubbing his hands together and looking at you as one might look at a car one bought but has not yet had a chance to drive. And so he's just looking at you like, yes, excellent. And then we fade back into the modern scene, and the captain says to you, Well, let's begin by becoming familiar with one another. I know that you must feel many things being here in the face of justice. But heaven is good, and whatever you have done, you will find it out. You have no fear of that. And he says to you, my name is Captain Yang. It is my job to ask questions. What is your name?
You know my name.
And he kind of quirks his eyebrow at you. Humor me.
I am Berg.
Indeed. And what brought you to the Scarlet Fortress, Berg?
We were helping, trying to make peace between factions. We found your commander had taken power and was corrupted by the Mara. He attacked. We killed him. You came.
That's quite a lot of information, Berg. So, let me understand this. You and the others that you're in the cell with came here on a mission of diplomacy to speak with the High Commander on behalf of the tower whom you serve. Whereupon you found him possessed. Is that correct?
We were to show him a scroll from the tower to help forge an alliance so the fighting can stop and the Farang can be fought against, united. We showed him the scroll, but it wasn't him.
Is that what your masters, the House at the End of All, want? For us to stop fighting? Hmm?
They want what
You're
you
aware
want.
of their activities in the city. You must be. The assassinations, the destruction. They burned the Temple of the Magician, Berg. These are serious crimes. And I'm to believe that you came here to parley. You.
Not just
And there's-
me.
And there's a hint there of like you, because obviously you're only good at one thing. Fucking look at you, you filthy orc. Like, why would they send someone like you if not to assassinate him?
It cut out there for a second.
Oh
Did you
yeah,
say
they
again?
just
Why would
he's
they
just
send
like,
it?
yeah, you're not a diplomat. You're a big scary warrior. Like you must have come here to kill people. That's your job.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Berg
Obviously.
is silent for a second and lets his, passionate words echo, and he's just like,
Obviously, I'm not the one that does the talking.
So you're a bodyguard, muscle, a hired killer, or perhaps some sort of holy warrior, a dervish in service of destruction.
I am Berg.
If only it were that simple. So if not you, then who? Who is the one responsible for delivering this message?
We all were. But are you asking who carried the scroll?
This scroll you speak of, we looked through your equipment. There was a scroll, but it's blank. Am I to believe that it carried a message at one point? Is there a command word to activate this item?
That is not the scroll. I was trying to tell you what happened. Anyways, we showed him the scroll, but it was not Farsad that looked back. It was the Mara controlling him. And I will admit, I attempted to snap his neck to rid us. of the beast inside. You saw his chest. You think we did that?
You travel with a spellcaster, a wizard, the turtle. Perhaps he did it. Corrupting magic is not so hard to come by.
Have you looked
Besides,
at the body?
The tower uses all sorts of tricks. Trucks with monsters all the time. You could have administered a venom.
If I was guilty, do you think I'd admit to trying to kill your commander?
I think if you're guilty, this will go easier on you if you admit it.
I am not guilty, and you are a deaf fool.
There's no need to be impolite. I'm on your side, Berg. I simply want to know what happened, so that the priest might record it and pass summary justice upon you. It's for the good of your soul, really.
I told you what happened. If you have more questions,
I do,
speak.
in fact. And he reaches down behind the thing, and you can see him struggle a little bit, and then he, bang, puts the conduit on the table. Tell me about this. How did you come by it? Yeah, your hammer.
Oh, my hammer. Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
That was once a different weapon. And it changed.
Have you seen the creatures that are plaguing our city? These Farang.
I've fought
You've
them.
seen... He nods. Then you know. He looks down. Certainly, this bears a resemblance to the weapons and armor that they've been using to kill our citizens, to destroy the city. Where did you get it?
Berg,
Who gave it to you?
Berg internally for a beat, like speaks inside his head.
Are you there?
You don't hear anything. There's no response.
If you say nothing, I will tell them about you.
Yeah, still nothing.
All right. And Berg's like,
There is one that travels with me. Not seen, not heard. Goes by Tulpa. He forged that weapon. Helps me fight the Farang. I don't know much about him. But you want me to be honest, so I am.
And he's just looking at you like he's hearing you, but you can see this look of like he's trying to process this. And he says, so you admit that there is an outside presence in your mind guiding you to act.
I am in control.
Is that so? This possessor you speak of, you do not know its nature, but it tells you that it is Farang. Hmm?
Not Farang. I don't even know. But it helps destroy them. Isn't that what you want?
Interesting. And he looks at the priest, and the priest just nods slightly. He turns back to you, and he says, so when you found that the commander was possessed, you were forced to kill him. Was this your decision, or were you commanded to do so by the priest? Or one of your other companions, the Dragonborn, perhaps.
I saw the mark of the Mara in his eyes. What would you have me do? Talk to the Mara, reason with it. I tried to spare his pain and death by eliminating him.
We saw what you did in that room. There was no mercy there. Gas snorts. He says, it sounds to me like you're confused. It's difficult to make sense of these things, especially for someone with your obvious intellectual shortcomings. If you were manipulated into doing this, if someone commanded you to kill him, to kill Farsad, there's no need for this charade, Berg. Tell me.
No
Who
one
gave the order?
told me to kill anyone.
None of your friends?
Didn't you find it odd that he rose the rank so quickly? Blood spilled. Your order is in chaos, and you preach to me.
Well, I assure you that whatever else you think that you've done, chaos in the ranks is only increasing. There is a very good chance that this assassination will have served its purpose. The city will fall to the tower's fire, and all the people that live within it will have to leave, or they'll die. I want you to know that whatever else happens here, Berg, that's on you. Unless you absolve yourself to heaven. And the priest kind of just gives you a look like, it's okay, Berg. And gives you this like nod. Says, absolve yourself of the guilt. Tell us who should be punished for this. And your soul will be cleansed. You will go on. Be reborn. You do not want to go before heaven with this stain on you. So don't lie to me about possession, about otherworldly creatures. Give me a name. Tell me who did this. It will go easier for you in the end. I promise.
I saved Farsad's life. And then I decided to take it away from him. Isn't that strange? When I speak, my words fall on deaf ears. Who do not listen, who do not hear. Do what you will.
He shakes his head and he says, we will continue to examine what you've said. I am sorry you have not chosen to be more helpful. And he looks to the other guards and he says, I'm done here. Take him away. And they do. So, while all that's happening, actually, let's have you make a roll. I want to see. Go Berg, make a persuade roll. I just want to see generally. Actually, in this case, it's not persuade. It's because you're not trying to persuade him of anything. You are, you're basically just make a charisma save because you're using the truth to try to protect you, and you're trying to get across what the truth is, which is actually like confusing for him. But make this save. Your exhaustion, I don't think affects this, or like, you know, like I think you can just make it as is, and if you want to make it with inspiration, you can use it. But I don't think in this case being exhausted is going to make a difference. A charisma save.
Okay. The inspiration.
Let's say DC. That's a pretty fucking outlandish story.
Yeah.
It sucks because the if you had just been like, yep, I'm an orc murderer or whatever, I'd be like, cool, you get a plus 20 to this roll or whatever. But like that's what he wants to think. He thinks you're too dumb, you're too strong, you're not a diplomat. Somebody ordered the assassination, turn them in, but you refuse. So you can make that check. Let's call it DC 14.
Is real quick though, is Bardic Inspiration still in play or no? Like I don't know how much time.
Yeah, it's been less than 10 minutes. Yeah. I think it's like right on the edge. You still feel you remember Kalimat's words.
Okay, so I don't need to use inspiration. So, all right, Charisma DC 12. You said.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God, work. Fuck!
Okay, so here's what we see. We see Berg taken out of the room, the door closed, but we stay in the room.
Hold
Captain
on.
Yang
Well,
turned.
he's got to roll Bardic Inspiration for D6. So
Oh, wait.
Oh, I guess he got a 1 in 6 chance.
Yeah, so he
You
can
got a
make
1 in
this
6
roll.
chance, yep.
Yeah.
If you roll that 6,
If you roll
got
6.
it.
Yeah, okay. So we'll stick with the room and we'll get their conversation, but go ahead. Ooh, not quite inspiring enough.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
So you turn your left, and so he stays in the room. He stays in the room with the priest, and Yang turns, and he says, "The prisoner was found in possession of what's obviously an outsider weapon. Is the tower in allegiance with these Farang?" And the priest shakes their head, and they say, "However misguided they might be, the tower believes they are doing heaven's will. It is in their nature, as it is in mine, to balance the scales. We cannot fault them for what they attempt, even if their actions are less than admirable. I believe the creature was telling the truth, but is misinformed. It worries me, the speech of this presence. I fear he may be corrupted by the Mara himself, his words twisted. These orcs are dangerous, simple folk, but I will look into it further. There were no signs of possession. Usually these things are more obvious." And the captain nods, and he says, "I can't spare anyone else. We're too drawn thin." And the priest says, "All justice, even the smallest, is important to heaven." And the priest puts a black gloved hand on Yang's shoulder and says, "You are doing the best you can, Captain. Let's attend to another prisoner, shall we?" So, meanwhile, down in the prison, Kalimat, Sully, Ramos, you have some time to talk while Berg is away if you want. Is there a scene there, or do we just have Berg come back?
No, I will definitely talk to Sully. If I can.
Okay.
So, when were you going to tell me that you picked up the bracer and the rod?
My head's still leaned back, and I like hunch it forward and open my eyes and stare at you. When you needed to know, I assume, which I don't know when that time would be. Because frankly,
When are
it's
you
none of my
going to
business.
realize? When are you going to realize how much more important solid friendship is over knowledge gained?
Never?
You not only angered Berg, you hurt him. I want you to know that.
We'll move on.
Yes, but will I?
I don't know. That's for you to figure out.
Do you not care?
If it gets me the bracer, I care.
That is all you care about. Is yourself and your knowledge, your books, furthering your own means.
It is not for my own good, it is for everyone else's, but I could see how that would look selfish.
How about instead of concerning yourself with everybody else's wants and needs, you start with the people in front of your face.
What do you want?
I want you to be more considerate of the people who have saved our lives, time and again. Berg has almost died many times for us. I want you to realize the importance of that.
I do, but there's no worth in conveying that to him. He understands his cause.
For someone who's so intelligent, what you just said might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, he got you.
Ramos is eating popcorn. Looking safe. Oh, I got him. Oh, I got him good. Burnt.
I'll just say this. I think an apology would go a long way, especially if you meant it.
How does one know if they mean things? It is troublesome bringing emotions into the play.
It is. I'll grant you that. But I will also say that it's worth it every time. It'll save your life. Or it might let you die. Like Berg. Do you think he'll think twice next time if some roaring beast is coming at us to step in front of it for you? Do you see what I'm saying now?
I think you're living a lie if you think Berg does not fight for himself at the same time as us. He does not do what he does to protect us. He does it to continue on.
Then you truly do not see it. You truly do not understand the importance of companionship and friendship and how powerful that is. Because if I asked Berg why he steps in front of all the beasts and all the evils of the world, I'd bet you my right arm that would be the furthest thing from his mind.
We don't have any weapons. You shouldn't... We cannot how... You want to pull your arm off? It's not going to be quite easy.
Don't worry. I'll have Ramos explain that to you. I turn my back and I just look out the cell.
Yeah. I just put my head back and close my eyes again.
Cool. Yeah, both of you take inspiration. That was a perfect example of you're water aligned, right, Sully or Kalamat?
Oh yeah,
yeah, you're air, right?
Yeah.
Air.
We're both air.
You're both air. Interesting. Okay, cool. You were arguing like a water align there. That's cool. But yeah, so it's more of an ideological conversation than like Kalamat necessarily being like, this feels bad. It's like you're wrong. You're wrong thinking. I like it.
Maybe I think I need to look into my alignment a bit more then, for sure.
Yeah, because air is like it's about like thought more than anything, and it doesn't necessarily mean like you don't have feelings or you don't care, but you think things through, come up with plans, and have ideas about the way the world should be, rather than like feeling your way through stuff, which would be cups or water in this case.
Okay.
So
yeah, more.
I mean, if it
more less feeling, more self-assuredness.
Well, so air is the mark of a abstract reasoner, someone who's a smart thinker that likes to analyze and probe, to learn, but also about communication, right? Getting the word out, speaking to crowds, like that's a part of your character that's very much air aligned.
Okay.
The inventiveness and cleverness, right? The idea of like moving ideas through the world, and these ideas can come at a whim, or they can be the result of long thought, depending on how it goes. Your emotions, it's not like any of the signs are emotionless, but you may not be motivated by what you feel. You may motivate more by what you what you think.
Well, that's okay. I think maybe I could have benefited from asking about this a long time ago, like because I only picked air because of my dragonborn heritage is air and that kind of stuff. But if you were to tell me that, or if I would have known that beforehand, I may have very well have picked water.
Yeah, which is fine. Like if you want to have changed it, we can just say you were water aligned all the time. But remember, it's the base nature of your soul, right? Like you can be born, your soul is born under the sign of water, and you can ignore it your whole life and try to focus on what you think. It doesn't have to be the way that it always is, right? Like water is emotively focused, intuitive, sensitive, big intense feelings, emotions, and nurturing. They run deep, right? They base their actions on how they feel rather than what they think or anything logical. And if that sounds like it's more like your idea for climate, we can just say you were water the whole time, and it's not that big a deal.
Let's do that. I would love to do that.
I think you should be water.
For sure, because I feel
that makes more sense.
Describe exactly like what I kind of want to get across with this character, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will be a dragonborn of the air, but water aligned. You know?
And that totally doesn't matter. Yeah, like there are fire genasi who are earth aligned. It's not a big deal. Okay. Your alignment, for folks who are asking, your alignment can't change. It is the sign under which your soul was forged in eons past, and every incarnation will always be the same elemental sign. So that's an unavoidable thing. But you can express it differently. It doesn't tie you up, and you don't get like punished for varying. It's just kind of what your soul wants to be.
And in character creation, it's something that I didn't do research on, so that's on me for not understanding what alignment was in this particular world. So thank you for letting me change it.
Okay. Yeah, we just didn't go into it very deeply. Okay, so the guards return with Berg, and one of the guards opens the door, the gate, and Berg is gently pushed inside after they take the manacles off, and they shut the gate. And before they shut it, one of the guards looks at you, Ramos, and says, Ramos Krill, the captain wants you.
Fine, let's go have a chat. I walk out of the room.
Okay. They don't bother like manacling you. They don't put the chains on you. They just kind of like nudge you along. They're like, come on, let's go.
Okay.
Okay, so you're taken with them, and you go away. Kalimat and Sully, Berg returns. Do you say anything to him, or?
No, I just throw. I mean, even if Sully doesn't open his eyes or look up, I throw a sidelong glance at him, and I don't say anything. It's not my place.
Yeah, I stand up when they walk in, so I see your glance. And then once they shut the gate and Berg walks in, I sit back down, put my head up against the wall.
Okay. All right, so Berg, you walk in and they're both just like kind of quiet and awkward.
So the guards are still here, or they leave?
No, they're taking Ramos away.
Oh, they're taking Ramos. I see.
Yeah.
How did it go?
Kyle, you asked how to go. Yeah.
Hard to say. I told the truth. I don't think they believed me.
It doesn't matter if they believe you or not. We told the truth. Our stories will match. Hopefully, if Ramos doesn't trick one of them into drinking his urine again, we should be exonerated. They have spells and trinkets for sussing out truth. I'm sure they put them into use and they saw you true. Rest.
They want to believe. It was sent by the tower. Kill Farsad. Maybe. I don't know. I told them about the scroll. But we don't have that for evidence. Now do we?
No, we do not. I plop down and just close my eyes. I'm not intended to sleep or anything, just thinking.
Just kind of like shutting out the world and getting your head straight.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So Ramos, you're being led by these guards up through the sort of back hallways into, eventually into the same place, the Hall of Justice. So the guards walk in and they shut the door, and you're in the room with the priest, the justice priest, and with the captain.
When I walk past the priest, I'm like, "Sir, I would like a wine, please. Thank you." As I sit down,
The priest doesn't seem to give any indication that affected them, but the captain notices you say that. There's nowhere to sit. You're standing before a dais. You're slightly lower than the captain, who's on a slightly raised area, looking down across this marble bench at you. He reaches over and he hands you a rolled up scroll, and he says, "Do you recognize this?" Hands it to you.
I'll open it and see what's inside.
Yeah, so you unroll it. It has a seal on it, a broken seal of. Make a history check real quick. You can do it with advantage.
Okay. Advantage. 17.
Okay, no problem. You recognize it. It's the scroll of the Court of Swords, probably like a sub seal of the Knight of Swords, and the like kind of it's basically like the Justice Department of that court. And the seal is broken on it. And he hands it to you, and you open it, and it's like documentation about your arrest and subsequent judging, and it says right on it like you are currently a servant of the Court of Swords, and it has all that stuff on it, all your crimes, etc. And just while he watches you read it, you look at it. What does it say? What does it say you did? Why were you arrested in the first place? What did you do, bad boy?
Well, long ago, while serving in a church of the sun, there was this heckler that would come out every day and shout blasphemy at the church. And every day he'd come and start shouting things about the church and how the sun sucks, basically. And the sun people were just like, just let him be. He's misguided.
Right.
And
turn the other cheek.
And one day I was just in a very bad mood, and I went up to him and gave him a piece of my mind, and may have shown him that the true power of the sun by blasting him in the face with the sun's fire and burning his eyes. But unfortunately,
I was gonna say, you use even a cantrip on a commoner, and it's not going to go good for him.
Yeah, so unfortunately he was the son of a wealthy merchant in the district, and the merchant pressed charges, and I was brought into court for that reason. So that was why I got locked up originally.
So he looks at you. You look at the thing. When you look up, what do you say? He's like, you recognize this?
So long ago, another life even.
You do understand that whatever other summary justice is meted out here, you belong to the Court of Swords. There's no two ways about it. Whether you killed the commander or not, you're a prisoner. A prisoner on the loose, no less. A reacquired asset that belongs to another court. So you have to understand that no matter what else goes on here, your fate is sealed. Even the priesthood of the tower can't come and free you from this. This is the end of the road for you, Ramos Krill. You're going back into servitude. You're going to wear the bracer again. You understand all of this, don't you?
Well, unfortunately, it does say until death on here. And unfortunately, I have died in the past for a while, and I've come back. Therefore, none of this applies to me anymore. And you can see here the scar You see the 2 gashes that would be a mortal blow to right through my heart.
Yeah. You're like, you take your robes and you're like, check it out. I got stabbed real bad. Make a persuade check. Say DC. Let's call it DC 14.
Okay. 11.
Ooh, okay. So he turns to the priest like, is this for real? And the priest just kind of like gives him a look like, don't worry about that right now. We're gonna look into that. And the captain says, but if you were dead, you would have been returned to the wheel, reincarnated. Justice would have already been served for your crime. But as you stand before me, hale and hearty, Ramos Krill, you are yet a prisoner. But that's neither here nor there. That part of your story is written. What I want to know is how much you're going to cooperate with us, because this could go better or worse for your friends. For Berg, for example. You do care what happens to him, don't you?
I thought I was muted. I'm sorry.
Who burped?
Yeah, Berg just like, blah, I don't give a fuck. So yeah, he looks at you.
What is it you want exactly? You probably have determined. You probably can't determine one way or another what our story is true or not, because the convenient thing about the Mara possessions is there's no evidence after they're gone, is there? It just looks like a normal body.
Do you find possession to be convenient? You're traveling with someone who seems to be suffering from it. What can you tell us about this tulpa that Berg has following him around? Is it the fiction of an addled mind, or is there more truth to the matter?
That is a matter that outside of this current problem. We're looking into it, though. We don't know exactly what's going on there.
So you admit that you could be traveling with someone who is being influenced by the Mara.
I admit that we don't know what's going on. He could,
but it hadn't occurred to you.
Not the Mara.
How,
this isn't their work.
And, yeah. How can you be so certain? Are you an expert on the matter?
I've killed them. I know them. This isn't them.
It's a matter of opinion, I think. You're an apostate, isn't that right? You served the sun? Why the change?
Because the tower saved me when the sun didn't.
And so you owe the tower for this. And then what? They commanded you to kill the captain or kill the commander? You came here to assassinate him on their order because you owe them for your life.
You wish it was that simple. Believe it or not, we foolishly came here to try to broker not a peace, but we wanted you to lay down your arms and stop harassing the tower. For you have not seen what has happened. What the Farang will do to this city if we don't stop them.
We are the Aharisa. We do not lay down our arms. We will not surrender. Though we may yet be defeated.
We want you to point those weapons at the Farang, not us. Our quarrel's not with you, never has been.
The tower is misguided. They think the city cannot be saved. This sort of nihilism is not welcome. We were given orders by the immortals. They themselves chosen by heaven to lead us. We must follow those orders.
They hide in their sanctum while you out here die, while they stay in safety. They're here to protect you, protect the city, but they cower in fear behind their walls. At least the tower's trying to do something to save the city in its own way. We cannot save the buildings, maybe not all the people, but we can prevent the Farang from getting a hold of things that they shouldn't have.
And you can see, like, you've made an impact, right? Like he doesn't take a full step back, but he changes his body language. He shifts back a little bit, and he says, This cannot be the will of heaven. But if it is, we will learn in due time. Did you come here to kill the commander? Tell me true.
No. We came
His
here.
his death does serve the tower. Does it not?
Not his specifically. When he dies, another will take his place. Killing commanders doesn't accomplish much. We'll just pick another one and another and another. Assassinating one person isn't too much. We wanted to turn your hearts, all of you, to the truth of what's going on. You hide and cling to your false hope. And how many men do you have left, Commander? How many people have to die before you realize that you're holding on to a lost cause to people who hide away and don't help you? This garrison's looking a little thin, isn't it?
And he's like, you can see, like you're saying a bunch of things that are true. His interrogation is a little on the ropes. He doesn't say anything.
All I ask is you let us go. You tell your men to go home to their families and try to survive before they're all dead and you have no one left to command. The tower has no quarrel with you. It's with the Farang. I know you want to hold on to the city because it's where you live, but we just want to save it. We want to prevent the Farang from getting hold of stuff they can use against us. Once they're going to take over the city. Heaven can't stop them. Neither can you. We need to prevent them from getting things.
Make a persuasion check.
I would like to use inspiration on this one.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Okay.
I feel like if you want to, we can, and I think this totally makes sense. You can roll all that stuff that you were just saying. Sounds very much like a sermon to the tower. So if you want to give yourself guidance on this roll, that's a-okay by me.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay, it's gonna be close.
16.
Nice. Okay, so he looks at you for a second. You can see, and the thing that gives away that you're getting to him is he slams his hand down on the table, and he's like, "Get him out of here!" And the guards come up and they like take you, like, "Come on!" and like go to like jostle you out of the room. Do you have any parting shots for him, or do you just like smugly look at him like, "I won, bitch"?
Just like, don't stand in the Shadows Tower for long, Commander. It's not safe.
Right. Okay. He and you leave, and the same thing. We stick with him for a minute, and he turns to the priest of justice, and he says, "Is what he said true? Is heaven abandoned the city?" And the priest just doesn't say anything. He's just like silent, and they stare at each other for a minute. And I don't think anybody comes to get y'all for a while after that. Ramos, you are returned to the cell. They open the door roughly. Like, you'll see this. They brought Berg back gently, but they like throw Ramos into the cell and slam the door, and they like walk off. They're just like, ah. Obviously Ramos pissed them off, which I think when you know Ramos, you probably expected he like, I don't know, threw his pee on them or something. But like, yeah, they're mad at him and they like throw him in there.
Well, how are you boys?
Making friends, I see.
Well, I just introduced him to a friend he forgot about, Mr. Truth. He didn't like Mr. Truth too well.
People seldom do. Were you able to convince him to let us go?
I think we'll be out of here. One way or another. I definitely got through to him. He may want to speak to more of you, but I think he cracked a little.
And what did you say to make him crack? Maybe I can spread the crack a little wider.
I simply told him what he already knew. What he already knew to be true. How thin his ranks are. How many people have died. The city is burning all around. He's clinging to false hope.
If only High Commander Farsad was himself, he may have seen that with more time to spare.
It's possible. But I could see desperation in him from the moment we left him on that battlefield. He invited the Mara in that way. He gave up hope.
That's all.
Cool. Yeah. So maybe you expect the guards to come back, but 10 minutes pass, an hour passes, then
We'll try to sleep then.
and 3. You have to wait. You can't take you can't take a long rest or attempt another long rest for 24 hours.
Okay.
You can sleep, but it's like fitful and not restive.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't take a long rest because he failed.
No, yeah, you get one shot at it out of every 24 hours.
Is there any guards or anything that I can talk to?
No,
Like,
and nobody
can't-
brings you food or water either, which is odd because this place seems to have their shit together.
So even if because I would try to yell for the guard. Guards.
Okay. Yeah, I think if you at this point, if you make enough ruckus, if you make enough noise, then eventually, yes, a lesser guard. And actually, in fact, let's make it the guard you saw before, the stout, tattooed guard.
Perfect.
So he comes down. You hear someone come down, and you hear, okay, I'm coming. What? And you see this guy step out. He looks into the cell, folds his arms. What do you want? You're making so much noise. I heard you 2 floors up.
It's been hours, and I'm not complaining. I won't ask you for food or water or anything like that, unless you have any.
You don't have any
lying around.
food or water. No one has fed you yet. And he looks at you and he squints and he's like, "Hang on," and he leaves.
All right then.
He's gone for like 2 hours.
Tell him
Just a
at
fucking
turn
oversight.
It's like, oh,
Oh, motherfucker! He just left and he doesn't care.
I mean, he's gone for a while. Yeah, like
Okay.
2 hours passed. Does anybody say anything or do anything while that happens?
No, I mean, I
hang
complain like I got like he seemed so sincere. I feel like I got duped.
Yeah. So 2 hours pass, and I think around the time when you start to be like, ah, man, that guy just like screwed me over, you hear a squeaking sound, like a rhythmic squeaking sound from the other end of the hall. There's like a rattling that goes along with it. And you hear someone whistling to themselves sort of tunelessly. And then you see a wooden cart roll in front of the bars, being pushed by 2 sort of bronze-colored tattooed hands. And on the cart, there are these like round wicker like steam baskets, 3 or 4 of them, and he pushes them out. And you see the guard. He looks at you and he says, "Okay." And he opens the thing, and like some steam comes out, and you see little like pastries, little buns in the thing. And he says, "Come on," and he gestures for you to come over to the bars.
What was the name of the pantry? Oh, Lydia, the goddess of the pantry.
Goddess, yeah.
The goddess of the pantry. I whisper a silent prayer to the goddess of the pantry.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Lydia. Oh. Now.
And he hands you through the bars, his big hand, he hands you this like baseball bat, this baseball sized like steam bun, and reaches through the bars.
I grab it, and as I'm eating, well.
Okay, don't burn yourself. Come on, take it slow.
Very, very good point. I hate to. I mean, this is more than I could ask for, but
He shakes his head.
have
No, of course not.
Have you heard any news of the girl I asked about?
Yes, I went looking. You know how children are. If she's here, she's hiding, and she's hiding well. So I don't know. I couldn't find her. Things have been. And you did a number on Ujala. She has not spoke since we brought her in. There is a priest tending to her, but Empress Forfen, she seems to have lost her mind. Whatever she saw, whatever you did, it unhinged her. But that does not matter. You cannot be allowed to starve down here. It would be improper. Come on, everyone else, you need to eat. And he's like gesturing for the three of you, like, come here, so I can't like open the door, so let me give you this food.
I take a bun and I throw it to Berg. Whether it hits him, like he grabs it, okay, good. Like it's just a.
Yeah, for Berg, these are like one bite, like just right into the face.
I throw one to Ramos, and I pause for a second. I look at Solly, and then I toss one to him as well.
My eyes are still closed, so you probably hit me in the face.
Oh! If you're not looking, the whole reason for it was for. I'll say your name, Solly.
Yes.
Supper.
I'm not hungry. Thank you, though.
So in what's the native language of turtles? What's the
Aquan.
language you speak? Do you have your own? It's Aquan? Okay.
Yeah.
So in Aquan, the dude says to you, "Come on, grandfather, you have to eat." And grandfather in this case means like elder sage, like as a respectful title, not like you're an old man. But that's what he says in Aquan.
I will immediately make an insight check
Yeah.
with a 6. What do I know with a 6?
His Aquan is like heavily common accented, but it's passable.
I'll respond. It's very rare to hear Aquan outside of the outside of Turtle
Yeah,
Town.
you're in the wrong court for Aquan.
So I respond in Aquan without standing up, but eyes open, very intent. Where did you learn that language? And to the rest of you, it just sounds like, it just sounds real awkward.
Yeah, deep kind of rumbling sounds. He says, he holds his hands out like look at me, dummy. And he says, my great grandmother held to the old ways, tried to teach me more. He's saying this in common. Tried to teach me more, but I'm rusty. Been 10 years now, maybe more. I thought maybe you look different than the ones I know, but always nice to hear a familiar sound when you're far from home.
Still in Aquan. Why do you feed us this? You have no. Why this act of kindness?
I always felt that the harsher the world gets, the kinder we have to be. Now maybe you did a bad thing. Maybe you came here to assassinate the commander, and that would be very bad, but even bad people deserve to eat. I don't want to carry the dharma of your starvation on my soul when I go to heaven.
Well, you're either the worst guard or... I put my hand up to see if he's going to throw me one.
Yeah, he looks at Calumet. Calumet has your food.
Yeah, okay. I put my hand up.
What do you say?
Give me my food.
Please?
I look around. We're in prison. Kali, why the niceties?
Oh. All right, then. Apparently not hungry. Make a big show of like,
Yeah, and the guy looks at
eat
you
it,
like,
you
I
stubborn turtle, and I throw it at him. Eat it, you stubborn turtle.
When you throw it, Berg grabs the food and eats it.
My
intercepted.
my gaze, like, probably the fastest you've seen me move, like a snapping turtle's head, like, just shifts over to Berg immediately. I just say,
Your big Muppet head.
yeah. Berg, I can hold my breath for an hour. Eating for a couple of days, it's fine. Hope that was tasty.
Berg doesn't say anything.
Then I lean my head back on. It's a shame that bracer's not on you still.
Oh,
Damn.
Ramos like
Fucking
steps back
cold.
because like away from you. 'Cause
The like, is this like a dirt like dungeon kind of thing?
It's a prison, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say you can feel like you see some of the grains of dirt start to move up a little bit, like he's about to go into a rage, and then it just suppresses and it's fine.
Yeah, I tilt my head back, close my eyes, and say in Aquan, "I'm sorry, they won't let me eat. They're angry with me."
And he shakes his head and he says, "Well, I'm not coming in there, so you sort yourselves out."
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, he kind of looks. He looks at the group of you and just kind of like he's just kind of doing the same thing that the other guard did, where he's just like, "What is the deal with these guys?"
If I may ask one final favor from you, and it's very small, but I have a deck of cards in my possessions. Just very simple. You'll see. They're old. It's long hours waiting in here. I would like something to while away the time.
You can see
I can't
him,
offer you anything except my thanks, but if you would
You can
see it in
you
your
can
heart
see
to
him-
give them.
Yeah, you can see him thinking over the roll that you're going to have to make to convince him of this at disadvantage. He's not sure if you're going to succeed at this roll or not.
All right. Persuasion, I'm guessing, yeah?
Yes.
Persuasion at disadvantage?
Yeah, with disadvantage.
Okay. Okay. Oh, shit.
Nice.
So he nods and he says, "I can't see the harm in it." And shrugs.
Thank you.
And yeah, and then he turns the card around and he says, "I'll come back in a bit." And then
Now,
you hear the
okay,
squeaking of the card as he starts to push it away.
What are some of his physical features? Like, he has tattoos? Is he big, small?
Yeah, just relatively short, like probably like I don't know 5'4" or so. Big stout dude, big broad shoulders, heavy brow, skin that is. He's obviously not afraid of the sun. His tattoos are old and faded because of all the time he spent in the sun. Plus, he got them a long time ago. Imagine like he's probably, if we cast an actor, he would be like Maori or Samoan.
Okay.
You can't see his hair because he's wearing the head wrap of the harissa, and he's wearing he's wearing chainmail and has the like chest like wrapping.
His tattoos don't have any like pictures or anything on them. They're just like
No, they're
designs.
mostly lines. Like he's got
Okay.
lines that come down from his mouth and cover his chin, and then he's got some more across his cheeks, and then some others
Okay.
that come up. And if you saw him with his shirt off, his chest is probably covered in them too. And you can make like a history check, but right now it's not enough detail.
That's okay. I'm just looking for something to call him and make a point of calling him that, so he knows that like I still want his name, but I'll call him my painted friend. Thank you, my painted friend.
And he looks at you and shakes his head and he says, "Oh, we're not friends." And then turns around and walks away whistling.
Not yet. We're not friends yet.
So you're all in the cell together. Some more time passes while he goes to fetch you your cards, but again, he's got other things to do. What do you all do?
Are there windows in
Yep.
this cell? Or this room?
No,
There's
you're
nothing?
like 2 or 3 stories down underground.
Okay, so we weren't like masked when we brought down here. We know where we're at.
No. You've been up and down.
Okay.
Give me a sec. I'm gonna grab my DRG. I gotta look something up.
Okay.
So the guard's away. What do we say?
Good break music.
Okay. Yeah, like if you wait, eventually someone will come. He'll come back and he'll give you the cards. Yeah, I think when he returns, this is several hours later. You're like totally turned around on what time it is now. And yeah, he comes back with with water, with like a jug of water and some clay cups. And he hands them out. Hands the cups to you, and he hands you the cards. And he says, I think you're missing some. As he hands it to
So
you.
I am.
And he shrugs.
I've
He
been
says, Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. I've been an amateur. What would they call it? Like a street magician, like a performer. What would they call that? Like someone who does card tricks.
Yeah, it wouldn't be magician because a magician is like that's the name of a member of the Arcana.
Right.
just like
That's
a
why I kind of
performer.
avoided it. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I'm an
You're like, I've
amateur
been a magician.
performer.
Bullshit you have.
I'm an amateur performer, and when I began doing this job, I was good at making cards disappear, but making them reappear was kind of a problem at times.
Sort of ironic, don't you think? I mean, you used to make bits of your fate disappear, and he looks around. Now you're the ones that disappeared. You can't change the story fate. You can't change the story fate tells, even if you take all the bad cards out.
Very true, my friend. I'm sorry. Not my friend.
Nods. Damn right. You behave yourselves. And he turns to leave.
Yep. And I sit down with my back to the wall, and I begin like shuffling the cards and with my eyes closed. And
Okay.
I'm going to deal myself out of a deck of fate.
So you want to read your fortune?
Read my fortune, yes, our fortune.
Okay, that sounds good. Let me pull up my deck here. You can do it manually if you want. I just want to have the cards to show everybody on the screen.
Yeah, of
once
course.
we get them up there. Okay. Cool. Go for it.
Okay. So I'm thinking about what has transpired. I'm thinking about the Mara, the Farang. Thinking about how delicious that pork bun pork bun. Why is it a pork bun? I don't know. 'Cause I want one right now.
Yeah. No, it's a
Sounds great.
it's a pork bun now.
Yeah, the
Sounds
pork bun
real
now.
good.
Thinking about how good those buns were. I'm thinking about thinking about Mod a lot.
I often spend my time alone thinking about how good those buns were.
And okay, so the first card, it's a 4-card spread. The first card represents us, and it is the Knight of Pentacles. Is the first card? It's
okay.
right side up. Knight of Pentacles, right side up.
Okay.
That represents us, and I'm just gonna my little handy dandy book. Okay, points the way to prosperity through hard work and focus. Or actually, you know what? You can tell what it means because it means sort of different stuff in your universe.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead.
Yeah. So the Knight of Pentacles, the card you have, would be reflective of it. It would actually, it's the Knight of Coins. It would be an image it'd be an image in the honor of an actual person. It would be a picture of that person, because there is a person who is the one of the 4 heads of the Court of Cups. So it would be a picture of that person, depending on when you got this card, right? Depending on when the deck was made. So it may be out of date now. The person who is the Knight of Coins is always the same soul. It always gets resurrected the same way. Until a new soul comes along and replaces them. There's a bit of a Dalai Lama kind of thing where you have to find this person. The body changes, but the soul contains this sort of authority. And the Knight of Coins is known for being unadventurous, for being unwavering and thorough, being realistic, head-rooted in reality. This is the person who is in charge of the treasury of the Court of Coins, the most prosperous court in the world. This person knows their way around business, both legitimate and illegitimate. They know how to work hard, put their pettiness aside, and see things in a candid way. Right? They're smart and like data driven in that way. They don't let they're the divine accountant, exactly. So this represents, the card will represent, if it comes up as like representing you, this is an indication of fate saying like, be realistic. Count your chickens after they hatch. Don't make big gambits when you don't know the amount of money in your bank account. The Knight of Coins would say also pay the correct price for that which you have bought, right? Don't try to weasel out of things.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Pay what you owe.
Yeah, exactly. Pay your debts.
Okay. All right. The second card represents the journey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me shuffle them up real quick. Give them a cut.
Move these.
And it is the 10 of Cups. Is the journey.
10 of Cups. Okay. Let me find mine on here.
Right side up.
7. Okay. Well, I'll look through these. But the 10 of Cups represents peace, doing away with hostility, restoring harmony,
Oh shit.
feeling contented and at ease, calling a truce, right? Like no more fighting, just relax, everybody. Joy through peace, seeking particularly your connections to family, looking to bonds of brotherhood and sisterhood, looking to the rightness of the family, doing away with hostility. Yeah, exactly. Embracing good fortune, counting your blessings, being thankful for what you have, and not picking fights where fights need not to be picked. It's an indication that the journey cannot be solved by battle. This is about diplomacy and trying to make common ground.
Awesome. I love it. The next card represents the obstacle in the journey, what crosses the journey.
Okay.
Something you have to overcome or something you will encounter in the journey. Okay. So that is the High Priestess.
Okay. Interesting.
You will
All right,
encounter
so
the High Priestess on this journey.
So the High Priestess
right-
is one of the High Priestess is one of the higher arcana. This is like a god in this world. And the High Priestess represents passivity and patience, right? This is the be like water, the kind of like allowing things to happen and flowing with them, because she also represents using your intuition, seeking guidance from within, being open to a larger reality than merely the ones you can see, understanding potential and possibility in unexpected places, and finding answers in the unknown, remembering something long forgotten, looking more to dreams than to thought. It's about about that kind of guidance, as opposed to like the Hierophant that would like rely on stolid knowledge. This is about like feeling your way through a situation instead of like making a plan and sticking to it. Being fluid and able to adapt.
Okay. So
There's our high,
that cross,
there's our
that's
high
the
priestess,
obstacle
yeah.
on the journey is there's going to be a moment or a time that we have to be fluid. We have to remember something long forgotten or the like.
Yeah,
Feel
I'm
your
gonna
way
write
through.
these down. So the Knight of Cups was you, and then the journey, which I still haven't found in my deck, but it's the journey is the 10 of Cups.
10 of Cups, yep.
Right, it was the Knight of Coins. Yeah, Knight of Coins, 10 of Cups. Obstacle was the High Priestess. Okay.
Okay. And then the last card is the outcome, the conclusion.
Right, what to kind of aim for.
Yeah. All right. Cut the card, and it is the Hermit.
Interesting. Okay. So the Hermit is a card. This was the Hermit is the arcana, another member of the major arcana. The Hermit is a it was important to that the monk that we saw before. Remember that monk that you guys talked to out in the desert? He was a monk of the Hermit. The Hermit represents It's not a great like result card because it represents going your own way. It represents searching for greater understanding, predominantly like alone, introspection, focusing inward, looking for answers within instead of without, seeking solitude, withdrawing from the world, giving up on things that distract you, and seeking guidance in another place, like a pilgrimage, is part of the hermit's jam. Introspection, searching, guidance, and solitude. Yeah. So that's your last card. The Arcana.
Cool.
The major arcana are heavy in this reading. So is anybody watching Calumet while he does this, or Callie, do you like go to them to explain it, or like what does that look like?
Are you turned away from us when you're doing this, or is it in the middle of the room?
No, I just have my back to the wall. I'm dealing him out in front of me.
Okay. When I hear like the flipping of the cards, or the shuffling, my eyes definitely open as you draw them one by one.
Mm-hmm.
And I just put my head back up against the wall. The guard's still here, right?
No, he's gone. He's left.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about what these portend.
Right.
Do we hear movement above at all, Adam?
No, all the walls and stuff are stone. You can make a perception check if you want to like strain to listen.
Yeah, I definitely will. Fucking 5.
Okay. No, I mean it's just the walls are too thick. It's not that you can't hear properly or whatever. So yeah, I think like if the awkward silence continues, if no one will speak, you, Calumet, you have a vision of the future and maybe ruminate on it for a bit, but eventually you do. I think like a lot of time passes, like enough to really
long?
like fuck with you.
Is it an hour?
Like, it's like at least another full day before anybody comes back to talk to you.
Jesus.
As soon as that
Yeah,
24-hour
it's-
period passes, Berg just attempts a long rest.
Sure, yeah, Berg, you can make one more attempt at another attempt at a long rest.
Please, just let me get rid of a level of exhaustion.
Yeah. Con save with no advantage or disadvantage unless you want to spend your inspiration. Same difficulty before. What did I say? 12.
I won't spend inspiration because the only benefit here is a level of exhaustion.
Recovering. Now remember, everybody has to make the same check for the rest because this counts as like sleeping too. You may, if you keep failing these, you'll get exhausted being down in here. It'll get worse for you because this
DC 12?
represents not just recovering, but like DC 12.
I would totally take that inspiration, man. I really
I was
would.
just thinking maybe I should do it.
You'll get exhausted again.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I was trying to look up I'm trying to find the rules, and if anybody in chat knows the page number in the DMG, there's rules for like how long you can go without sleeping properly before it starts to fuck with
Constitution, you said?
you. Yes, please.
Advantage. Yes!
There you go. Okay.
I didn't need the
So
inspiration.
you're down to level 2.
-2 exhaustion.
Do we have any? Jesus. Do we have any indication if it's night or daytime? Could I have like
No,
kept
not
the
at all.
hours? Or
It's Xanathar's. That's why I couldn't find it.
oh, okay.
Xanathar's and
When do the
that's
hit
Xanathar's
dice
and
come back? Doesn't it happen? Has to be like
You get half on a long rest.
half on a long rest. So
Half.
that's what it is.
And then you mentioned something about
Thank you, chat.
You mentioned something about magical cells, and that we weren't in one.
Yeah, I mean, they have dealt with like people of like clear and obvious magical capacity before, and they would have to have some way to imprison them.
Gotcha.
Okay. So
Oh, I need to make.
I think after that time, okay, yeah. So Sully, I think this is your first failed one, right?
Yes.
Okay, so keep track of if you fail and how many in a row you fail. So Ramos, you're fine. Calamite, I need you to make that con save too for resting. Basically, every 24 hours when you try to sleep, it's whether you can get sleep or not. This place is
-2 exhaustion is
shitty.
still. Isn't it -2 where it affects movement?
2 is movement. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, still movement effect. But we in the right direction. Berg slap. Berg slap. Woo!
Get it.
Do I have to risk
full
it?
sleep. Yeah, you don't have a choice. Every 24 hours, your body is like, go to sleep, idiot, and it's hard to sleep in here, but not that hard.
Okay, so if I fail it, then I get a level of exhaustion.
No, not in your
No.
first fail. It just means you
gotta
didn't.
fail
Oh, okay.
twice. Yeah.
They'll pile up. Going without a long rest. Yeah, there we go.
So everyone else sleeps except for me and Kali, right?
Yes, yeah, and
Okay.
you sleep, but like in the sense that you're not like asleep for the full 8 hours. You're like restless. You wake up a bunch of times. You're
Plain sleep.
Like there's no beds, so you're sleeping on the floor, and a lot of bad shit has happened to you. So you know.
So while Ramos and Berg are both passed out, then I noticed like me and Kali both wake up in our restless sleep at the same time. And maybe I'm just like, he awkwardly catches me just staring at him while he's sleeping when his eyes open.
I'm doing this shit. And then we just lock eyes like,
Yeah. And I say, I'm going to try to escape. If you want to stop me, now's the time, but my mind's made up.
you realize if you get caught trying to escape, they'll punish all of us. Right?
Maybe so. But I'm tired of being in this cage.
Still worth it to you.
I think so.
I won't stop you.
My eyes just like turn to the outside of the cage. I'll cast Misty Step and see if I can Misty Step outside of the locked cells.
I don't think that they have any reason to have put you in a cell that would be able to block something like that. Yeah, they didn't. This was just a holy powder. They didn't expect to keep you in there very long. So yeah, I think you just. Now you're outside.
Okay. I like just look around. I turn back to Kalimat. Do you want the keys or do you wish to stay in there?
I'm going to stay in here.
Fair enough.
Shall I wake the others?
No. Unless you wish to.
Very well.
And then I will cast Major Illusion and do the same thing where I kind of like Cloak of Invisibility from Harry Potter bullshit where it's just the light kind of reflects a little bit differently where I'm walking.
Yeah,
Through the
so
city.
we got to talk about that because you're trying to use one spell to emulate the effects of another, which magic can't do. I think creating a space that looks like there's no one in it is fine, but trying to use that because what you want to do is cast the invisibility spell. You just don't have it prepared, and I don't think you can use illusion that way. Like just mechanically, like there's a reason there's two different spells.
So it'll
yeah,
work
I don't know that.
one time, but not this time.
Well, it's the thing is it worked in a static environment, but I don't think you could say like I create an illusion of the empty space in which I am walking that follows me around. Let me look at the difference because this is where it's confusing because illusion is so loosely.
It's not the spell that causes that. It's malleable illusions that allow me to do that. That's what we rolled last time.
Yeah,
'cause
no,
we
I
used it to
understand.
walk.
Like you're spec'd to do lots of flexible stuff, but I just don't like. I think it's against the principles of the game to let you be like, I'm going to use this spell to do this other spell, right? Like, let me see. How long does minor illusion last?
10 minutes. Or major illusion. I'm not casting minor. I'm casting major.
Yeah, major illusion. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
last
here's the thing. Anybody
10 minutes.
looking at it gets to just make an intelligence check then
Oh, yeah.
immediately. They don't have to do anything to like search for it. They just get to know.
Yeah.
They get to make that check.
That's all
Okay,
I'm looking
that's
for
fine.
is a check. Yeah.
Right. Whereas with invisibility, they wouldn't get that check.
Right. They'd have
Yeah.
to
Before you
actively
leave-
search it out. You see,
Before
like,
you leave-
you see the footsteps stop in the sand.
what do you plan to do? Are you going to leave the city? Go back to the tower? I just want to know where to find you once we get out of here. If we get out.
I haven't made my mind up yet. I'll stay in the city for a couple of days.
All right.
Then you see the foot trails walk off.
Can you link the spell? I just want to check
Major
to
illusion?
make sure you have the yeah. I just want to make sure the components. Is it? Oh, yeah,
it's a bit of
see.
fleece.
Yeah, you don't have your spell focus.
This all fucking sucks. It just sucks.
Yeah, the creating the empty box thing. I think on thinking about it, if you're using a level 3 spell, like that all is fine. That's okay. It's you're not breaking the rules at all with that. But you do need to have your spell focus to be able to cast the spells that have.
I will just walk up the stairs then, because what the fuck else am I gonna do?
Okay, sure. So are you making an attempt to be stealthy?
I mean,
Or are you just gonna head upstairs?
I'll just head upstairs.
Okay, sure. All right. So we see you head down the hallway, disappear away from what everybody else can see. Kalimat, what do? You see Silly just pop out and then walk away.
No, I honestly, like, in Kalimat's head, he's going 30, 29, 28. Just counting until he gets caught and brought back here. But yeah, other than that, I'm just peeking and waiting for him to come back.
Okay. All right. Yep. So where are you going, Sully?
Well, I'll walk up the stairs. Can I make a intelligence check to see how much I remember when we first walked down here in terms of the layout?
I don't think you need to make a check. I think you've got a pretty good. You're smart enough to know like how to get around. You could get from where you are to the scene of the crime. You get from there to the front door. You could get. Yeah, you could. There's a couple of different places in the keep you could go without worrying about it. You're smart enough to have a good memory for that stuff.
Do I know where they would keep our stuff?
No.
Okay,
But you could go back. You could go back to where it was taken from you and start there if you wanted to search.
Sure. Yeah. I will do that.
Okay. All right. So you head upstairs, taking a long, curving stairway up two floors, and then you come to there's landings at each floor, and you count. You're up 3, and that's where you came in from the main floor. You're standing in front of a wooden door in a stone archway.
Okay.
And this leads out into the hall that should lead you back to where your stuff is.
Does it have like what are they called, manhole? Like a way to look through it, or is it just a solid?
It wouldn't be. There's no lock, so there's no keyhole.
Oh, okay. I'd like crack the door open a tiny bit to see if I see anyone passing by.
Okay, and you peer out into the hallway. You see your little turtle head like poke a little bit, look back and forth. The hallway seems empty.
Does it look traveled? Like
I mean, it doesn't have like a carpet of dust or anything, but you don't see anybody around.
Okay, I will open the door and go out into the hallway.
Okay, so you step out into the hall. Take a look both directions.
I'll go down the left hallway. Do I know what's down that way, or was that?
Yeah, you know the direction. Like, I'm not gonna get you to say like go left, go right, or whatever. But like Sully knows from here. You got a pretty good mental map of. You can go to, you can go to the office, where the Lord Commander was, where that fight happened. There's all kinds of places you can go from here that you just tell me where you want to go.
I want to go the places that I didn't see, as long as it would make sense that there wasn't another place where they would store all of our stuff.
Right, yeah, you wouldn't know for sure, but you want to explore a little bit?
Yeah. I want to try to figure out the unknown.
Okay, all right, yeah. So you start to go for a walk. I think that you come to a door The first thing you see, picking a wrong direction, you start walking. You come to a door, and the door looks like someone tried to like bash it in from the outside. It's got boot marks on the area nearest the latch. It's probably got like some gouges in it from like a sword or an axe. But it looks like the door held. There on the ground around it, probably more scuffing on the stone. But yeah, the keystone of the arch over the door has a horse's head looking left, I guess. Just the outline of a horse's head looking left.
Well, I'll make a religion check on that to try to understand what the fuck that's symbolic of.
Mm-hmm.
Double nines.
You recognize it. You were right. You were right to make a religion check, but yeah, it's one of the arcana. It's a religious symbol, but you don't know the context.
Okay. I'll make a mental note of it. Is the door? Does it have a like lock on it? 'Cause you said there was like people were trying to.
It's probably barred from the other side.
Okay. And if I push on it, it's obviously still barred.
Yeah, but when you shove on it, something is leaned up against the other side, and your little push like shifts its weight, and there's like a thump on the other side of the door. Kind of wet thump.
I'll open the door fully.
Okay, it's still barred. You like push on it. But...
Yeah, I'll get a running start and like run into
Okay,
the door.
make an athletics check.
4.
Okay, no. So you slam against it, and whatever's on the other side falls away from the door. You hear it like thunk on the ground again. It's like a slightly metallic like clank on the other side.
Does it
But
open now?
it's still barred. You can feel the point of resistance where the bar is holding fast.
What would break this? Does magic missile chip away at anything like that?
I don't think you
It's
can use magic
force.
missile on inanimate objects.
It's this creature of your
I don't know.
choice.
Yeah, it's a creature, so you can't target inanimate objects with it.
Is
Sounds
there any,
like a door that needs to be burged.
yeah. Is there any water around?
Looking back and forth, you don't see any. No.
Yeah, my mind actually goes directly back to like Berg breaking that door.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about the cards. And so I walk back downstairs.
Okay, cool. All right, so you head back down. I mean, it's longer than 30 seconds, Kalimat. It's more like a half an hour, maybe an hour. You hear footsteps. And I think by now, Ramos and Berg, you're both awake.
Where the hell is he?
Oh, he went out
So-
for some fresh air.
Sully Hoffa walks into view on the other side.
Oh, there he is.
Sally, I know you're new to jails, but you're supposed to stay on this side of them.
Do I see any keys
I have
lying
a
around?
laugh.
Do I see any keys lying around, Adam?
You do not, no.
I don't think there's anyone in this prison, if it is one. There's a door barred up top. Seemed like a body was laying up against it, but did not see it myself. I can't get it opened. If only there was
Can
a dumb
Can you
orc that I know.
fire the lock thing with your bolts?
I mean, I can't. It seems to be barred on the other side. I could tear the door open, but I figured that would draw too much attention.
Wait, did you say you didn't see any guards up there?
Not a one.
Yeah, not in the time you're away.
It's very, very uncommon for a guard to speak Aquan like that. Is this Hassan testing us, or one of the tower? Do they do this?
I think it's time for us to go, gentlemen. I don't think there's anyone here.
Well, I can't Misty Step you guys out. You'll have to figure a way out. I'll go look for
Is,
the keys.
Well, Bergy step. Berg, knock it down.
Yeah, looking at the gate or the the cell door or whatever, does it look like after a few good hits it'll
I mean, you're not
Give it
feeling
a
as
shot.
exhausted. You're not feeling as exhausted as you were before.
That's true. Here we go.
I'm gonna
give you
go up.
guidance.
I like say I'm gonna go upstairs and look for the keys right as Berg attempts to break through the gate.
Okay, how are you doing this, Berg? So, just to give you an idea, the way it works is there's the stone walls, and then there's a section of the wall that from ceiling to floor is metal bars, and then a section of those bars is set into a frame that can open and close.
Okay. Berg would be just trying to charge shoulder down into the weakest point of the bars, like in that frame.
So you want to like ram into it and try to knock it over that way, rather than like brace yourself and like pull the bars out. Or I'm just trying to get an idea of how to set the difficulty.
I think run into it. That's more Berg style.
Okay. All right. You run the Berg train into it. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
you have guidance.
Make an
Not even rather,
Make an
rather than
athletic-
use his shoulder. I think he's probably trying to like drop kick it to get use the momentum and then use the most force as possible. Just try to kick it out.
okay.
I'm not
Right.
I'm not very optimistic about this. I'm pretty sure we're still disadvantaged for skills, right?
Not with two, I don't think. I think it's just movement.
I think
speed.
no. I think the first one, the first level of exhaustion, is disadvantage.
And then two
let
is
me take a
movement.
Athletics.
One is ability checks, which skills are. Two is speed halved. Three is attack rolls and saving throws. So yes, you're at disadvantage.
Am I doing athletics or strength?
You're doing athletics, which includes your strength.
Yeah, same. Hey.
You could rage.
Yeah, you could also rage if you wanted.
Okay. Alright, I'll rage. Regular rage.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay, so it's 10. You do have guidance.
So a D4.
Roll D4.
I was gonna say. Yeah.
Okay, 14. It's not great. I feel like the first attempt it doesn't do it. I think you throw yourself against it, and it rattles. Obviously, it takes a hit, but I don't think you can do it with 14.
So
Try again.
yeah, I'm like halfway up the stairs and see that he's doing this, and just turn around and watch.
Mm-hmm. There you go, and you can get another help from Ramos. This time it doesn't have a chance. But yeah, roll that D4.
Nice, 26.
Tower's on fire today.
All right, this time, the second time. So how is the second time different?
The second time, Berg notices.
Throw your body against it the first time and nothing happens. Second time.
Yeah, I think that I want to say the first time he noticed like a section that maybe rattled a little bit more, like a weaker spot, and Berg completely targets his attack there this time, just straight on the weak point, and like pushes off the wall this time to get even more of a head start, and then just goes right through it.
All right. Yeah. So you slam into it, and this time it's not clean. It's not like when you break through the door. This time it bends, and you have to grab it and like wrench on it a bunch of times to get it to twist out of the frame, and then finally you rip it away. And people like you have to climb under or like go by. Like it's not a clean break at all.
Right, of
But
course.
You can get free.
It's functional.
Yes, exactly. You break enough of it away that people can squeeze through. Yeah, and so the door is immeasurably destroyed at this point. It's all twisted. They'd have to reforge many of the bars to fix it. But yeah, there's a clear path out of the cell for the three of you.
Is Sally like near us?
Yeah, I'm
Still,
at
like,
the
on the
top
stairs
of
or
the
whatever?
steps looking at you, yeah.
Yeah, you look down the hall and you see Sully. He waited on the steps. Yeah.
Yeah. Berg just says,
Gear. Where?
I do not know. I did not get that far. There's a door up ahead that could use you.
Let's go.
Okay. And I think with that, when you're like, let's go, we see the two of you heading towards the stairs. Kalimat and Ramos, you leave the cell and follow after them?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Kalimat, you too?
I think that's it.
I'm thinking about it.
Unless you want to stay in the cell.
Oh, I was
stay?
thinking.
No, I'll go.
That guard was so nice to me.
So you're the last one.
I honestly make a point of like sitting there for a minute. I watch this whole thing go down with like idle bemusement as best as I can. And then as soon as it's down, everybody like is ready to go. Get up, dust off my pants, dust off my tunic. Big sigh. All right.
So this is happening. All right, and so we just fade out on the four of you ascending up the stairs to find out what the hell's going on in the Scarlet Fortress.
Nice. All right, let's do some shout outs. Zeke, we will start with you as always.
Wow. What a fucking episode, man. Oh, so much fun every time. I love this so much. I hope it comes through. I hope you guys feel my love of role playing and how much like joy I take from all the like, even when it seems like I'm like angry or upset or even when sometimes it's not my turn to talk and I look like I'm bored. I am not, I assure you. I'm having so much fun. Thank you, Dan, Max, JP, Adam, as always. I will be playing Yakuza 3 tomorrow. I'll be back doing that at noon Pacific. And if you want to check that out, Ezekiel_III on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, all the same. Drop by and say hi. That's all I got. Thank you.
Cool. Mr. GassyMexican, some shout outs, please.
Hi ho. Good time as always. Role playing with you guys. Good stuff. I really enjoyed some certain parts that happened and in the thing we'll talk about in the post show and stuff. But yeah, all my stuff is right there. And if you want to check me out, go for it. I'll probably be streaming a little bit of Sea of Thieves after this if that's your jam and you want to see for yourself the silly multiplayer stuff. But thanks as always for another episode and everybody. It's here making it fun. We'll see you next time. I'm excited.
Mr. DansGaming, some shout outs, please.
Hi, I'm DansGaming /DansGaming on Twitch, Friday streamer. I had a ton of fun today. That I love the interrogation, and I love when the dice go well and like you tell a good story and the dice actually follow what you just said, like instead of the opposite. When I hate when that happens. So I'm glad that happened today, and I can't wait for next week. It doesn't feel like 4 hours just went by because it's just we're having so much fun and it goes so fast now that the shows are just like a blink of an eye, they're done, and I can't wait for next week.
I cannot either. Mr. Adam Coble, some shout outs, and
That's
we'll
me.
do goals and XP.
Yeah. So I had to wait until Zeke was done his shout out to post the Q&A because the chat was just full of BC Warriors. So if you have questions about today's episode, of course, just pop over to the link there, community.itmeJP.com. Click on that heavy hand of justice Q&A. And we can talk about today's episode. We're going to go and do our usual Patreon post show. So if you're a supporter of that, thank you. You can check that out soon. You can find me on Twitter at skinnyghost or twitch.tv/Adam Coble, where right now I'm either playing Vermintide or Into the Breach, depending on how much I want to suffer. And you can check me out doing that. I will also soon be doing a little walkthrough stream of the new Stars Without Number rule set, just where we kind of look through it and talk about it, maybe some of its differences to the previous edition, because I've been reading it in preparation for our new show. So that'll be coming up soon. Keep an eye on all the appropriate Twitters for more information about the new Stars Without Number campaign. We'll be launching that pretty soon. And yeah, big special shout outs to Co Carnage today for supporting the team, keeping us going.
Oh, sorry.
Dan,
Sorry.
Jesus, off
Sorry, Dan.
camera.
Yeah, Dan. Camera's on you, Dan. Camera's on. Hot camera,
We
Dan.
have a
Damn
little
it,
bit
man.
of a break in between now and the Patreon video, man. More than enough.
Come on, man.
All
We were
right.
Needed a
almost done
little
the show.
upper, okay?
This whole
God.
Twitch drug ring is going to get brought down now. 'Cause
Man,
you
you're
just can't
gonna-
keep your nose
Snake.
closed.
That's right.
Anyways,
God.
goals and XP.
Goals and XP. That's right. So, did anyone resolve any of their goals today? Doesn't feel like they did. They worked on it, though.
No.
I mean, one of them got wiped away. Aid Kaliman in his plan for escaping. I didn't really aid him in his plan for escaping, but
So yeah, let's go through them. So Berg, you get work towards destroy or be rid of the bracer. I think if you can leave this place behind and leave the bracer here, that'll be success for that goal, which is perfect. That's what I thought. So you got work towards that one. So 50 times your level for that one. Ramos, what do you think?
I don't think I did any of mine.
Yeah, I don't think you did any of yours. The impress someone one, but not with magic. Calimot, you work towards leading everybody out of the fortress safely. Sully, you work towards 2, both trying to keep the bracer and the rod, and trying to help Calimot get out of here. So you get experience for those, trying to get those 2.
In a sense, Calimot didn't even want to leave himself.
Yeah, you're trying to help him. You're trying to help him help himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, I had a whole thing that
Dan,
didn't happen because I didn't expect a fucking demon to pop out of a chest.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, we knew that these things happened. But yeah, Dan, if you're able,
that's the key word to take away here. Safely.
Yeah.
What you were trying to do was not safe. If we could tell the truth and get out of there, we'd all have our hides because we're telling the truth and the truth will out.
It's so good that you think that that's how justice works. that just telling the truth will leave you free and clear.
That'll be a good post show.
When it's the actual when the truth is, on your side.
We'll talk about the nature of truth and law enforcement in this world and all other worlds when we come back for the post show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really interesting seeing that as it's an in-character goal. It's a thing that you Calimot believes, and it's interesting to see that come to play. I like it. There was a lot of good inter-character conversation today.
So making progress on goals, is that XP worthy or is it finishing the
Yes,
goal?
it's 50 times your level for each goal that you worked on. So for you, you'll get 50 times your level twice.
Oh, 50 times.
Yeah, you'll get 600 total because you work towards 2.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. All right. And then we'll do new goals next week. We should be back on normal schedule next week, so we'll see you guys on Tuesday at 6 o'clock Eastern. And if you want to watch that Patreon post video, we're going to go record it now. It'll be posted up later tonight, as well as the MP3s as soon as we go offline here. So that's that. We'll see you guys next week for more Court of Swords. We're out. Bye-bye.